Health. Everybody wants to be and have good health. There are many things that you can be concerned with in life, but there is this one great thing that you have to always remember. It's about your health. When you are in good health, you have the greatest possession that you can ever imagine. And I just want to share with you a few clips and information and principles that you have to follow in order for you to be in good health. You will greatly appreciate this because it has to do with how much your life is going to be enjoyed or how much it's going to be a misery. There is everything that everybody desires in good health. And this is the reason why I'm going to share with you a few principles on how you can actually be in good health. Let us talk about nutrition. What is nutrition? Nutrition is, in a layman's language, a branch of science concerning food in relation to how it affects energy production, protection from disease, growth, maintenance, repair, and different body activities, including reproduction. Much of what we are going to talk about today will be relating food. Why food? There are many people who eat that which is just an example of food and not really food. So the question you want to ask yourself is what I am eating food or just an example of food? How do we identify food? Food is that substance which when taken, it's going to benefit the body. But there are many substances that we take in which actually kill the body and destroy it instead of building it up. There will be a few principles that we will share that you will actually appreciate and apply in life for you to maintain and attain. The first principle that I'm going to share with you is you have got only one set of teeth on your entire body. Only one set of teeth, and that is in your mouth. What does that mean? When you sit down to eat, you should always remember that if you don't chew your food from your mouth or in your mouth, it will actually not be chewed anywhere. Because the grinders that we are put in the mouth help the body so that it can receive broken down substances for it to be able to work on them and assimilate, or rather get in the benefits that your body requires. So when you put your food in your mouth, there is actually a process that takes place there. When you start chewing, the saliva in your mouth mingles or mixes with that substance that you have put in. And actually, digestion begins from your mouth. So starch is actually broken down right in your mouth as you begin to chew. It is important, therefore, that when you are chewing your food, you should take your time. And at this moment, I can tell you to say, if you are in a hurry, better you don't eat. Because if you eat, you will be chewing and there will be partial digestion, which will bring problems later in your life or after you finish eating your food. In the mouth, actually, there are some chemicals which are produced, also which help to kill some bacteria that go in there. And if you don't chew thoroughly, you will find that that food which you are eating may go inside there, especially that it had partial digestion. It will cause, or it will ferment easily and even cause gases. If you are eating using a spoon or a fork, here is the best principle that you can follow. Provided you still have more food in your mouth, it's better to put your fork down on your plate. After you swallow, you pick your fork, you put more food in your mouth. That will help you to chew slowly and thoroughly in order to get full benefits from your food. First principle, you have only one set of teeth in your mouth. second principle that we are going to look at is when you sit down to eat, there is food on your table. Ask yourself this question: who is going to eat who? Am I going to eat the food, or the food is going to eat me? That may sound funny, but it is true. Because there is that which we call food. When we eat it, actually, it will revenge. It will not give us good health or benefit the body, but instead it's going to fight back the body. Somebody said, animals are slaughtered and eaten, but in their death they revenge. Especially on animal food, you'll find that they have got high fat content. Some have got different types of diseases also that you can develop or acquire from these flesh foods. Therefore, when you eat flesh foods that will revenge later, you'll find that instead of you eating the food to benefit, the food that you have eaten will be eating you later. It will eat you by causing diabetes, high blood pressure, arthritis, obesity, heart problems, even stroke, and eventually death. So it's up to you to choose. So when you sit down, you should always think, who is eating who? Am I eating the food, or this food is going to eat me? Otherwise, you are going to regret eating even the very best and that which you call your favorite meal. So, have a better choice. Choose food that's going to benefit you and not that which is going to eat you. The next principle that we are going to share, it's about drinking and eating. It is important that as we eat our food, we take as less fluids as possible. Because if we eat our solid foods with fluid, we are washing off the digestive enzymes, beginning with amylase in the mouth. And when we wash off the digestive enzymes, it will mean that we will dilute these digestive juices, therefore our food will not be digested. And in return, our body will not receive enough benefit that it would have received. It is important that we can drink our solids. What do I mean? When you get solid food, you chew it until it becomes liquid. That's when you swallow. And we should actually chew our liquids. There are some liquid foods which will be tempted just to put in our mouth and swallow there and then. But it is important that we take time to even keep those foods, especially when they have starch in them, so that they can also be digested. But eating and drinking, it's an offense. It's like driving and drinking alcohol. You are punishing your body. When you eat and drink at the same time, when that chime goes and reaches the stomach, what's going to happen is this. The body will first work hard to separate the liquid from the solids. And as that happens, it makes that particular portion that you have eaten to stay longer in the stomach. And if it stays longer in the stomach, which is the hottest place, you will actually develop gases and it will ferment. Fermentation, the result is alcohol. And you know how alcohol is. Alcohol is volatile. It evaporates and it crosses what you call the blood-brain barrier. When alcohol is taken and evaporates, crossing the blood-brain barrier, it reaches the brain, intoxicating you. In simple terms, I can say you become a breweries. You actually begin to brew alcohol in your stomach. So it's important that you don't drink and eat at the same time. it's better you mix your solid food with your liquids so that you can mix them in your mouth thoroughly than washing down your food. You are precious and you want to be in good health. Never eat and drink at the same time. There is supposed to be at least 5 hours in between your meals. If you eat your morning meal, for example, breakfast, between breakfast and your next meal, there should be 5 hours. What does eating in between meals do? After you eat your food, the process of digestion begins to take place. The moment you actually add more food before the process finishes, that process which began is paused. And then your body begins to prepare digestive juices to accommodate that which you are introducing. Therefore, keeping that food in the stomach longer. And the more it stays longer, like we mentioned in the previous principle, because of the high temperature, actually, the higher the amount of alcohol that is produced. You are actually toxifying your body. And a toxified body, which means an acidic level of pH, which is a very good environment for breeding of any pathogen, or pathogens rather. And this will make you to be sick. So you are inviting disease. You have to discipline yourself and know to say, the moment you eat now, quality food, which has got enough nutrients and a good combination, you have to learn how to do that. Once you have a good combination of food, which has enough fiber in it, you will find that it will keep you for the next 5 hours. And 1 hour after eating your food, you start drinking your water until after 5 hours. Then you can have your next meal. In between meals are so deadly. They can actually affect you greatly to a point of not only developing gases, but also being constipated. Because more food is being set aside without being worked on, the longer it stays in there, the more it gets harder, because your body will start assimilating and draining out the fluids. And it will cause constipation. Apart from constipation, eventually it will cause many other problems, including hemorrhoids or piles. 2 meals are better than 3. If you have noticed what has happened now, it's like you refuel your vehicle, you drive, you refuel, you drive, then you refuel and park. That's exactly what many do today. When you eat breakfast, your breakfast meal actually is your first fuel. So when you add that fuel in your body, you use it up to the next meal. After you have your next meal, you have refueled, you use that energy until evening. Now when you are going to bed, you eat mostly a heavy meal. The order of the world today is that they have flipped how things are supposed to be. The breakfast meal is actually supposed to be the heaviest. But today we find that many switched. The breakfast meal is actually the most light meal. And then the evening meal becomes the heaviest meal. Now, what do you do, or what happens rather, when you do that? The moment you eat a heavy meal in the evening and go to bed, night is for rest. But your body is not resting because it has to continue processing that food which you have eaten. Therefore, you will not get that enough rest that you are expecting to get. The other thing that you are actually doing is that you will have extra energy that you haven't used. Therefore, you will have great stored energy which will be converted into fatty molecules, later making you to gain more weight. So you will want to maintain a healthy weight, but because of having a heavy meal in the evening, you are greatly increasing the amount of weight because of the excess energy that you are packing in. How about 2 meals? When you get your first meal in the morning, then you go for your second meal late afternoon, it will be better for your body because it will be able to cope and even get enough rest. But the moment you add the third meal, if you are to do such a thing, it's better you add a very light meal, for example, fruit, because that is digested within a short period of time, especially 2 to 3 hours before you go to bed. That will help you to go to bed, and your body also will be resting. If you go to bed thinking you are going to rest, yet your body is not resting, you may wake up feeling fatigued and even more tired, also having a headache. While you thought you were resting, you were actually working harder than you were sleeping. Therefore, beware of the third meal, especially the evening meal. What God has put together, let no man separate. That's for the Christians, of course, because they believe that verse in the Bible. Now, you see, let's take a wheat grain. A grain of wheat, or any grain, when it goes through a refinery process, the fiber, meaning the outer cover, is removed, the roughage, and then the heart, also the germ, is removed. What do you remain with? Just starch. But fiber is actually important because it works like a broom. And not working just like a broom, it also works like transportation, especially in the intestines. When you do not include enough fiber in your food, you are eating a lot of starchy food. That can be shown when you go in the restroom. When you go in the restroom and then you see your stool gets into that pot in the toilet and then it sinks. The moment it sinks, you should know that you're not taking enough fiber in your food. That's one way you can know. And if you're not taking enough fiber in your food, it will actually cause you to have constipation, because there is no transportation of that fecal matter so that it can be excreted out of your system. Fiber actually helps to also maintain a good and clean colon, because a dirty colon, a ganged colon, is a better breeding place for disease. So if you have a dirty colon, just know that you are susceptible to many health problems. It is important that you can include raw food every time you eat something. Let's say a cucumber, a carrot, or even cabbage. You can steam it. The way you prepare your vegetables, especially the leafy vegetables, it's important that you steam them rather than boiling them. Oh, many people do that in order to get maximum fiber. The white bread, the white rice, and all these white foods which are refined are not the best sources of food, because they are refined, depriving you from the fiber that you need. Go for fiber, and it's going to help your body and yourself to be in good health. The next principle that we are going to talk about, it's about knowing how to cook good. You see, knowing how to eat and knowing what you want to eat is one thing, but knowing how to prepare your food is another. Many people want to eat health food, but they don't know how to prepare the health food. I want to encourage you that you take up every chance whenever you hear there is somebody who is teaching how to prepare good food, health food. And when we talk about health food, we are talking about the best sources of food, and I can actually advise you to go for the plant-based foods. Those which are coming from the ground, they are a better source. Whatever runs away, whatever has a mother and father and their products was not meant for food. Therefore, know how to prepare good food. When you know how to prepare good food, you will know how valuable and important your body is, because you will attain maximum health and you will be happy in your life. Actually, you will be happily ever after. We spend a lot of money going to where they are selling food, yet we have land where we can prepare our own vegetables and also fruits. It is important that you can have a door garden. You don't need a big space in order for you to have a garden. All you need is a small portion. You can plant your different vegetables there, and that will save a lot of money. It is important that you embark on organic farming. Organic is better because you will not need to apply different chemicals. Instead, you have quality, healthy foods or vegetables and other plants which you are eating, which will give a quality health in relation to that which is bought on the market. It may not be organically grown. Let us consider how we can follow the owner's manual. You may not believe this, but I do believe that we are not existing by chance. We are existing because there is a designer who actually designed my body and your body and our bodies. This designer has given explicit instructions that we are supposed to follow. And he actually tells us that these bodies are supposed to be temples where the Holy Spirit needs to live in. We are not supposed to be careless. We are supposed to take care of them, including with what we eat, what we drink, and what we do. These bodies are not supposed to be abused with any substance, either taken through the nose or through the mouth or through the skin. Anything that defiles this body is contrary to the one who designed this body. Because the designer wants to be glorified. He wants his character to be revealed. And when this body is being abused and it gets sick, it does not best glorify the manufacturer, and who is God, the Creator. He says it in the book of John, that's 3 John verse 2. He says, "Beloved, above all things, I wish that you may prosper and be in health, even as your soul prospers." He inspired John to write this particular verse to show the desire that he has for you and me. He wants you to be in good health. He wants you to enjoy optimum health. He wants you to maintain a good physical, mental, and spiritual well-being. A complete healing can come through if you follow these principles and know that the designer wants you, especially you, to be in good health. May you share this information to others, and you can contact us in order for us to help you in your health. If you've got a patient, let's say a diabetic patient, a high blood pressure patient, a stroke patient, we actually offer home nursing programs where we can help you to become a doctor of your own and pray with you that God can heal you. You can contact us using the details on your screen. May God bless you, and thank you very much for taking your time to listen to these principles. Bye for now.